Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of I don't even know what it's called. Is It Just Us podcast. Just wanted to start a podcast because I always hear Gary V, aka Gary Vaynerchuk, talking about starting a podcast, and, everyone's always like, oh, I don't know how to do it. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it too then. Fuck it. So we are doing it in our kitchen, me and Kaylee. She's right there.
Hi, I'm Kaylee.
This is pretty much just to prove how easy it is to just start a podcast, and you don't need fancy equipment. We're in our dining room table right now that we don't even use. I just have a laptop, 2 cameras, because I just like having 2 angles versus 1 angle, because for me at least, I like switching back and forth on the angles versus just 1 angle where it's kind of like a little boring, but that's just me. That's how my psychology is. But yeah, this is episode 1. It's called Is It Just Us? I came up with it because I was having a conversation with Kaylee whenever we're having dinner or something, and I'm like, this is a topic that feels kind of like, is it just us? Like, are we the only ones that feel this way? So I was like, this should be a podcast. And then, yeah, just went from there. I would like to introduce Kaylee. I did too much talking already.
No, it's great. You did very well.
We've been dating for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years next week. That's our anniversary. So, today is also my birthday. I wanted to start this podcast today. That way, in the future, when it blows the fuck up, I'll be like, yeah, we started it on my birthday. Just so I have a source of a date that I know where it started from. But yeah, this podcast, well, I guess for this first episode, I just wanted to talk about how easy it is. Because, I run the podcast for Gary V. Well, not the podcast, but I do the Ask Gary V show for Gary V. It's a lot more complicating at work because we're doing live streaming and stuff like that. But if you're not doing that, it's pretty damn simple. We're doing it a little bit more fancy with like our little equipment here. We've got 2 cameras, my laptop, this mic, which is a Yeti.
Yes,
is
correct.
Okay.
And a ring light as well.
Yeah. That's just for you, really. We don't need it. I'll do this shit in the dark. I don't care. But what was I saying? I already forgot. God damn.
I think you were saying that you don't need a lot, that it's more complicated when you're doing a live stream.
Right.
But here we have a lot of equipment, but you really don't need that much to do it.
Right. So
podcast.
If you just wanted to start a podcast, you could just sign up for anchor.fm. I literally just did it before we started doing this. Just made an account. It was really simple, very user friendly. Yeah.
Are there any other things that somebody would need to get started other than Anchor and their cell phone?
I guess it really depends on how you want it. If you just want to start talking about stuff like we're doing right now, you could easily just go. Anchor has an app. You could just download the app, and then you could start recording audio through it. It's not the best sounding audio, but it's not terrible either. Like, it's good enough. Like, especially if you have at least an iPhone 8 or better. The mics on these phones are just way better now, so it's like, it doesn't matter. Like, it'll catch the audio fine. You'll have a little bit white noise, but like pretty much everything will have that, so it's not a huge deal. This mic is like, how much was this?
$130.
Yeah, this was like $130 mic, and we use really good mics at work, but after I tested this one, it sounded pretty similar to the ones we have at work. It's just not cool Joe Rogan looking with mounts and shit, but who the fuck cares?
I think as you get more involved in something, so if we found that this podcast took off and we really enjoyed it, we could then invest in more equipment.
And also the beauty of a podcast, I am in my underwear right now because it doesn't matter. You can't see my pillow here anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And if you're just listening, you can't see me either, so that's also the great part of doing a podcast. You could just do it whenever the hell you want, basically.
I'm not in just my underwear right now, though.
Yeah, she's not as cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
So a little, I guess, backstory. Yeah, I guess if you're actually listening to this podcast right now, you probably are doing it because you're a Gary Vee fan, and I work for Gary Vee, so you're just supporting the team, which I appreciate. Thank you very much for if you've gone this far already, I appreciate it. Yeah, I work for Gary Vee. It's been a year and a half since I've worked for him. I started off pretty much. Oh, even let's go even further back. I was an unemployed. Well, okay, we'll start even way back. I was working in IT in 2015 for about a year, and heard Gary on the radio when I was on my commute to work. He was on the Elvis Duran show. That was the first time I heard of him, and just things he was talking about was making sense as far as like having a job that you don't even love or you don't enjoy doing. And I was like, man, this really resonates with me. Sorry, my voice is a little messed up because I went for a run this morning, and every time I run, my voice just gets all phlegmy and gross. So I apologize for that. But anyway, I was listening to Gary on the way to work during my commute, and he was just saying, I guess the first thing that really drew me was the fact that he was from Edison, and I was like, oh, cool, local guy. And after that, he was just talking about just doing a job that you don't like, or people. There's too many people that do like have jobs that they don't enjoy doing, and I was like, yeah, that's definitely me right now. And I didn't. It's not like I quit my job right after I did that, but it just started like having thoughts in my head. And I'm like, man, I really don't like this place, and I'm really not happy here. And and then just some other things started popping up, and I was like, I want to try to be a YouTuber. And so I was like, all right, I went the extreme route and actually quit my job. Most of you out there, if you're thinking about doing the same thing, probably should hold on to your job first before you actually start doing something on the side like that, just in case, if you want. I mean, you could do both. I mean, I was kind of an extreme person where I was just like, I'm just going to take a leap of faith, kind of. And
it worked out for you.
Yeah.
I think you maybe just listened to your gut, and that was exactly what was supposed to happen in your situation.
I think I was just so fed up, to be honest. I was like, I just can't. I was really like in a dark place where I was like, I really like was like, if I stay here any longer, it's gonna be bad. So I was like, I have to leave. And yeah, so then I was unemployed. I was trying to do the YouTube thing for 2 years. I was doing that while making content for Costanzagrams, at Costanzagrams on Instagram.
So let's go dive deeper into that. So you started your own YouTube channel, and at the same time you had an Instagram account based on Seinfeld memes that was starting to gain popularity too. So you were kind of tasting a little bit of success from that, and then also working on your YouTube as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had Costanzagrams I started in 2012, so it was like before that. It was just for fun. I just wanted to grow or I didn't even care about growing. I just wanted to really entertain people, and I just also liked seeing Seinfeld content.
Right.
And and other people seemed to enjoy it, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna keep doing this. It grew. Like by 2015, it was like really gaining traction.
Mm-hmm.
Where to the point where I was able to like monetize off of it. For people who want to know how to monetize off Instagram, I know people have wondered about that. It's basically through like sponsorships type of stuff. So it's a Seinfeld based meme account, and people sell Seinfeld products as far as like hats, hoodies, shirts, stuff like that. So first what happened was people just noticed that my account was pretty large, and they were like, oh, we would love to have a paid post on your account. I'm like, cool. and then I just charged them whatever. I didn't know what the numbers were. I just like threw a number out there basically. Definitely undersold myself, but I was like, fuck it. I mean, I'm just glad to have whatever. And then after that, I guess people noticed that there were sponsored posts. So they're like, oh, this guy does paid ads. So it just kept coming in like one after another. And so that's kind of like how it like grows organically, I guess you could say.
So you were finding success there, and you were interested in creating that same type of success for your BMX account and your comedy account.
Yeah, I mean, well, it started off because like I was always hanging around Merit for the BMX people out there, Merit BMX. And at the time, I think Austin Augie, Billy Perry, and Anthony Panza were on the team. Only Billy is now, but they were all doing the YouTube thing, and I was like, oh, I mean, Billy was doing it for years, but Austin just started doing it, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do it too, because it just seems like he was being really successful. This is very, don't follow this strategy if you're listening, because YouTube is fucking hard, basically. It's really hard. It's hard to gain followers. It's hard to gain an audience. Not trying to, like, discourage you from trying. It's just like, don't go in thinking, oh man, I'm gonna fucking kill it on YouTube like in 2 days. That's pretty much how I went in, and it was kind of stupid, but it's all good anyway.
Well, what I've learned from listening to Gary and listening to you is that it's best to just create and maybe spread it across all platforms to try to gain as much attention as possible with the one piece of content.
Yeah, that's for sure. I didn't go into it thinking like that. I just thought, oh, I'm gonna be a fucking huge YouTuber. Like, I'm gonna be the next Casey Neistat. I mean, that's how I just like kind of went into it, and that was pretty poor judgment, but whatever. It all worked out, so it's all good. So I don't regret anything because it just worked out. But I forgot where I was going with that story.
You were leading up to how you got started with Gary, so you went back to creating the YouTube channel.
Right. So,
and then I sidetracked you with like a Costanzagram thing. Yeah.
So then, oh God, I'm going blank.
You heard Gary on the radio.
Right. So I heard Gary on the radio, and then I saw some Facebook posts, and that's pretty much how I became a fan of Gary. And then quit my job. And pretty much in the back of my mind, I was thinking, like, if this YouTube thing doesn't work out, at least I'll, like, hopefully I'll, like, at least gain enough editing skills to, like, one day work for Gary Vaynerchuk. And, like, I was thinking in my head, like, this will take 10 years, but whatever, it'll be worth it in 10 years. But at the same time, it was definitely tough because I have a very bad... I'm not really patient. I'm really bad with patience. And I was just, like, wanting it so much faster. Like, as far as, like, the YouTube part, not necessarily working for Gary. I just wanted the YouTube thing to grow faster, and it just wasn't gaining traction. And I was, like, just starting to lose hope, pretty much. And I kind of did. And that's why I haven't been posting anything on there. But now it's just because I'm just so busy with Gary's stuff. But yeah, it was just becoming such a struggle that I was like really like getting like like it was just tough. But fast forward to September 29th, 2017. I remember the exact date, sort of. There was a video on Gary's channel called Looking for Content Creators. And at the time, I considered myself a content creator, I guess.
You were?
Yeah, for Costanzagrams.
And YouTube.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you're right. So I applied. There was a description in the YouTube video. I applied for the job. Got rejected initially. I guess because I just didn't really have real life experience, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know why, but it's all good. Like, I completely understood why I got rejected. Then in January of 2018, got an email saying, hey, would you like to come in for an interview or something like that? I think it was from Andy. I forget if it was Andy or Justin. But I was like, yeah, sure. So went in, did an interview, felt stupid just because, like, I don't know, I was just like so didn't know what the hell I was doing. But Andy gave me a homework assignment and like pretty much a video to edit to see, like, I guess if I could make content for Gary. I made something. I actually like just pulled it up. I was looking through my archives and I just actually saw it and it was so terrible. But sent it into Andy, never heard from him. That was like in February 2018. And then just didn't hear from him and I was like, all right, I guess they just think I suck. And I was like, yeah, I fucked that up. I was like, fuck. Then 4 months later, so this is all in a time span of like pretty much 8 months from application to actually walking into VaynerMedia's door. In June 24th, 2018, I get a call from Andy when I was out trying to film a how to toothpick video, which never got done, unfortunately. But I was out trying to film a video. He calls me. He's like, hey, would you like to come in tomorrow? Or are you still interested in the job? And I was like, yes, definitely. And he said, can you come in tomorrow? And I was like, okay. I didn't expect him to be like, I thought he would give me like a week or something like that, but he just said, yeah, come in tomorrow. I was like, okay, cool. And then just started from there. It was pretty much like a 2 week, or it was supposed to be a 4 week trial period. Then it ended up being like, I think it was a 2 week trial period. Then ended up being a 4 week trial period. Then it was like 6 weeks. They're like, okay, we'll hire you as a resident, which is basically like a step above a paid intern, I guess. I'm not really sure how it is in companies because I never heard of a resident term. So like you basically get paid, but you don't get like health benefits and stuff like that. Then I just like kept my head down and worked as hard as I could. Like some straight up like pursuit of happiness type of shit. That's how I like to describe it. Like I wasn't drinking water. I was trying not to go to the bathroom because I like just didn't want to waste time. Like, because like editing was taking so much time to do, and I was like, yeah, I can't waste time doing dumb shit. Like I don't want to take lunch break. I'm not drinking water. Like really like just kept my head down and just worked for a while because I was like, I just felt like I didn't deserve to be there, so I had to really like show that I deserved to be there. And I just wanted to work really hard and make sure that I can stay. I really wanted to stay. And then in January of 2019, got the official hire to stay. And here we are now. And I originally started off just like editing. I didn't know anything about podcasts or how to start a podcast or audio in general. So shout out to Seth Feingersh. I hope I said your last name right. Huge shout out to Chef. Huge shout out to Seth because he really taught me like a lot of shit and really quickly and pretty much just threw me in the lion's den, if that's the right terminology. And I just kind of like learned everything and figured everything out. And I've been dating my Shroopta girl over here. We've been, and it's like so much has to do with you, like just the fact that you were there to support me and not have to like worry about like coming home late and all that time. Like you weren't like bitching at me or anything like that. You're just very supportive about that, so I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I probably couldn't have gotten through everything without you.
I could say the same for you about a lot of things. You are a wonderful support system too, and I believe in you. I think that you have so much talent, and you second guess that sometimes. You don't see your true worth and potential. So I always knew that you were going to pull it off.
No, I think it's it's mostly a defense mechanism when I think about it.
We all are like that a little bit. We kind of put ourselves down so that it like lessens the blow if we actually do fail.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I do. Cuz people at work are always like, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "I'm all right." I always say that, and they're like, "Oh, you're not good?" I'm like, "No, I like to undersell myself because if I'm good, that means that if I have a shitty day, I'm like, eh. So I'm just like, I'm okay. I'm all right.
I'm all right.
Not bad, not bad.
I'm doing all right."
So, is there anything you'd like to talk about? But before we do that, I guess something we should talk about is how long these podcasts should be.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they could go as long as they can, but
I would say on average no less than 45 minutes.
no less?
Okay, maybe that's wrong.
No, that's fine with me. It's just I'm surprised. I thought you wouldn't want to have it that long, but that's okay with me.
When I'm listening to podcasts, if I really am finding that I'm enjoying myself, if it's really short, I feel like I'm missing out on something more. So I'd rather, if it's good, give a good chunk of time to somebody.
True.
But not set a limit where I feel like we have to meet that every single time we talk either. So
True that
just
again.
whatever feels right.
Yeah.
Go with the flow.
Yeah, I agree.
What, on average, what are the podcast links for the ones that you find yourself listening to?
I only listen through Apple, pretty much.
Like Joe Rogan's podcast, it's about maybe an hour to 2 hours.
Oh, I think you meant like the source.
Yeah.
Length?
Yeah.
I mean, I only listen to Joe Rogan, really, and all his are like 2 hours, but I don't listen 2 hours straight. I just listen to whatever I can.
And then pick it up.
Yeah, just catch up from later. Like either to work and back home. That's pretty much it, which is like an hour. Yeah, hour each way, so.
I find that I listen to podcasts that are probably around an hour to 2 hours on average in length. But I really have been enjoying them lately.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Podcasts.
Oh, like what? Yeah, what are some podcasts you listen to?
So I do listen to Joe Rogan occasionally. I also listen to a podcast called Third Eye Drops, and it's more like spiritual. It goes into different types of religions across the board and different types of drugs that people might partake in and go inwards on a spiritual level. So I've been really into listening to podcasts like that. Not that I do those types of things, but it's just rather intriguing. So I find myself listening to those. More self-help podcasts. I'm always trying to improve myself.
With mushrooms?
No mushrooms.
What's it called? Third Eye?
Third Eye Drops. Like an eye drop for your third eye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good name.
Yeah, it is a really good name. It's clever. But I find myself looking to listen to that every week. And another thing, too, that we should talk about now that I think of that, is there a day per week that you would want to upload? Is this like a weekly thing that you would like to do, or just whenever?
It would probably be like a whenever thing, but I would like at least once a week.
Yeah.
And also, for people listening or watching, there is a chance that we'll probably do solo ones too. Like if you just feel like doing one, or if I feel like doing one. I always felt weird about that, but we were watching Chris D'Elia do his on YouTube, and it's so weird how he's just talking to himself. Mm-hmm. But, I'm pretty much doing that right now, so I guess it's the same thing, really.
I think that's great. So we could use this channel as a place for us both to speak at the same time, or solo style.
Word.
Well, I didn't have any topics to really cover. I think your story is very unique on how you were self-taught.
You could talk about your origin story too, like from Michigan. They don't know that. They think you're from New Jersey.
So, we live in New Jersey now. I don't know if we had stated that.
No.
But originally, I was from Michigan. I'm from Michigan, and I moved here 3 years ago. So a year before I met Dustin and we started dating, I moved to New Jersey.
2017? 16.
16, yeah. 16. I moved here in November 2016.
Right.
And I'm 32 almost. I'm 31. Dustin is 35 today.
Yeah.
Though age is just a number, we're both still very young at heart. But yeah, I moved here from Michigan in 2016. And I grew up in a small town, yes. So the company that I work for, I am in management right now, and I transferred here from Michigan. And I've been with the company for 4 years now. So after being with the company for 1 year, they relocated me to New Jersey, and honestly, the rest is history. But I was in that industry for many years before I moved out here, so I kind of worked my way up through the company. I didn't have any formal training in management. I was just at the right place at the right time. Found, like Dustin had said, you know, putting your nose down and working really hard, it really does pay off. Work ethic is everything. So if you show up, you have a positive attitude, and you work hard, I think that will speak for itself. Yeah, I worked hard. I relocated here and started a new life, and I couldn't be more happy or more lucky either. I really feel lucky.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And who knows, the sky's the limit. I really enjoy this part of the internet, though, creating things like podcasts or going on TikTok or taking photo shoots for Instagram. So this really helps to get my creative juices flowing and gets me out of the like managerial role that I'm in every single day. So thank you for doing this.
My pleasure. You still have a lot of time. Wait, that's the thing about this podcast. We're going to try our best to not edit anything out because, one, I'm lazy. And two, you get the full experience of being here with us.
More authentic that way.
Yeah.
I think you have been saying a lot that you want to be more authentic and show everything that goes on behind the scenes. And I think that's something that I've struggled with a lot, is being more authentic because it's a defense mechanism. I really try to put up this front that everything's perfect, and maybe this will help to break down that wall a little bit too.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. So unedited.
Yeah. Plus, I'm just lazy.
Yeah, that too.
Damn, I forgot what I was going to say.
So I think we could talk about TikTok right now, if that's something you're interested in.
We'll do that in episode 2, because I do like TikToks.
Yeah, we like TikTok.
Or we could just start recording episode 2. I guess that's the beauty of the podcast,
yeah,
too.
True.
You could just be like, okay, I'm going to turn this off. Episode 2, right now. Could do that.
Yeah, we could.
But I would like to stay on the topic of just starting a podcast,
yeah.
because that's kind of how we started this. And for people who are listening that are interested in starting a podcast, like, I mean, this is it. Like, I'm no genius, so, and I'm a huge dummy, and I'm able to do this, and any other dummy out there can do this just as good.
You're not a dummy, but I think to your point, just start. Yeah. If you aren't the best your first time, your second time will be better.
For sure. I guess if you're like really, really cheap, what you could do is just have, if you're by yourself, then you could use your phone. But if you're with another person, you could both use your phones by having one person record on their phone through Anchor. That way it's just like boom right there. Okay. And then the other person with their phone can have it set up on a tripod or something, and then you can just do like YouTube Live, and then you could probably get like an external mic for your phone that will make the sound a little bit better. That way it doesn't sound like you're like 10 miles away from the camera.
You might even, if you're solo too, you might be able to use an AirPod for it, because they have a really good microphone.
That's a good point. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. You probably can just, do an AirPod or some kind of wireless headphone mic type of thing. That should work. Yeah. But yeah, I guess the most important thing is just to post, which is hard. I get it. I understand why it's hard. Like we've been talking about doing this for like 4 months, and we were just like, like I just kind of like I was just too lazy, but
I was nervous too.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just didn't know how to start, and I didn't realize like I guess even though it's so stupid, like the biggest thing for me is I wanted us to have a photo for the cover photo for like the whatever, that square photo for the podcast.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Anchor, it just like did it It says you could just upload, like, if they had images you could use, and they also put, like, cool font to, like, put over the image. So I was just like, whatever, we'll just do this for now. And we can just do that later.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that's one step closer to actually doing this. And I was like, oh, that was easy. So yeah. And this is not sponsored by Anchor at all. I wish it was, but no, it is not.
One day we hope to get to the level of listeners where people would be interested in us talking about their products, but
yeah.
But for now, it's
I just think it's cool. Like, but also feels kind of funny. Feels like that episode of It's Always Sunny when they started a podcast together in, like, the back of the bar. It was, like, really shitty looking. I just always think of that. It's funny.
I don't think I've watched that one.
It's an old episode.
Yeah.
I looked it up recently. I was like, damn, this is a really old episode. And it's like, they were talking about podcasts, like, back then. It was like 2009 or something. I forget. And yet, like, it's taking us 10 years to do it.
I don't know why it took so long for me to want to listen to people talk on my phone.
Yeah, I guess I don't really know why either.
I started listening to audiobooks probably 2007, 2008 is when I first got my audiobook on iTunes, but I think that was like a download. It wasn't even through like a service or anything like that. It was a book, A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle.
Right.
Another spiritual book. My
Your
boy
Tor.
Eckhart.
Tor Eckhart.
It's Tolle.
That's your boy. Also, another thing that you might want to consider. Someone at work told me about this. It's called Podcast Preview. It's an app where you can basically, I guess, upload a portion of the MP3. Like, if you were recording, like, through your voice memos or something, I guess you could, like, save it, like, a portion, and then you upload it to Podcast Preview. I haven't tried it yet, but it pretty much creates, you know how you see on people's Instagrams when they're, like, promoting their podcasts, like, it just looks like an album cover and then has the waves going.
Yeah, yeah.
So it creates that for you.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool that way. Like, I guess if you wanted to, like, promote your podcast on social, it creates a post for you where it has the squiggly lines going, the wavy lines and shit. So that's kind of cool too. So that's something.
Thanks for the share.
Yeah, people can use that. Not sponsored by them. Again, I'm not sponsored by anyone except sort of by merit. So that's the only thing I will plug. So yeah, Podcast Preview is what it's called if you're interested or if you need it for anyone that wants to promote their own podcast. Yeah, if you have any questions about, I don't know, equipment or just, like, how to upload shit, you can ask it on this YouTube video. I don't think you could comment on podcast stuff or, like, on Apple Podcasts. So that, I guess you could leave a review. We'll check the review or something like that. Or you could check out my Instagram. It's Dustin, not Justin, all one word. I don't know if you want to plug yours.
My social media is Beeluxy. That's BeeLuxi. All of them are the same. So.
And I just found out today what it meant. B was her nickname, and Lux as in, like, lighting and color and stuff like that, which I didn't know about until today. So there's a little fun fact. Yeah. You learn something new every day.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
So, I guess on that note, we will end this first episode. Unless you want something else you want to talk about.
I really don't have anything to add, but I am excited for episode 2.
Word.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh yeah, I guess you could tell them what kind of mic this is. That way, in case, like, the sound quality is really good, they'll, like, want to buy it too.
This is a Yeti Blue. The color is black, but it is a blue model.
You got it at Best Buy?
Yeah, I purchased it at Best Buy last year. I was attempting to do some streaming on Twitch. So I purchased this, I did a few streaming sessions, and it has sat on my desk for the rest of its life.
Yeah, it's been sitting there for a while.
But yeah, I guess we'll check it out and see how good the quality is.
Yeah, I mean, when I did the test, it sounded pretty good, but yeah, we'll listen to it, and if you guys think it's good, then it's a good solution for people out there also that wants like a budget mic instead of a Shure, which is really expensive. That's SHURE. That's the ones we use at work, and
You have it expensive. On the moving arm.
Yeah, the mount.
Yeah.
Those are pretty expensive. They're like $300 just for like that piece,
right.
Not even the mount. So it's like, I mean, they're good mics, but like if this sounds pretty good too, like, and then you want to start a podcast, there you go. Just get one of these. It plugs right into your laptop computer.
USB.
I'm not sure we're using Adobe Audition to record this, but I'm sure there's other ways you can record like through a Mac. Like there's probably some kind of voice memo app on there that you can do. Like, how did you do it on your PC?
It's a program. I don't know the name. I should probably have it. I think it's called like OWS or something. I'll look it up.
Was it like free?
Yeah, it's a free software.
It came with the mic, or like you just downloaded online?
I downloaded it from the internet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so just go on Internet Explorer or something. Whatever you guys use out there.
I don't think anyone uses Internet Explorer.
People use that.
I could check the name really quick if you'd like.
If you want.
Yeah.
You got your phone. Just watch out for that cable. There you go. In the meantime, happy Thanksgiving all. Yeah, today is my birthday. I turned 35. I don't look 35. I know. I was at the skate park yesterday or 2 days ago, and kid's like, "Oh, how old are you now?" I'm like, "I'll be 35 in 2 days," and he's like, "Damn, you still look like you're 20." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Pretty sure I'm like the real life Benjamin Button or whatchamacallit, Will Smith in that I Am Legend movie, where he has like some special blood that prevents him from being a zombie. Pretty sure that's me. Anyway.
Unable to age.
Yeah.
The program is called OBS.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's an application that you can put your mic into, your cam into. You can use it to
That's what we use at
upload
work.
to Twitch. So if you go on Reddit and you just search OBS, you should be able to find a guide that will teach you step by step on what you need to do to begin this process.
Interesting. Wait, how did you record that through OBS? I'm trying to think. Like,
I have a webcam on the top of the monitor over there.
okay, yeah. That's no. I mean, I'm just thinking like as far as like the logistics of it, but yeah, that's what we use at work too, OBS, and that's how we do the live streams and all that too.
Mm-hmm. It's fairly simple once you learn how to use it, and then it has different things built in so you can customize it, change the appearance of everything. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah, I didn't know that's what you did to record last time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Very cool.
Yes, sir.
What time is it? 4:10.
We're about 40 minutes into this one. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a review, good or bad. I don't care.
Please leave a good review.
I'm gonna punch you though.
No punching anybody.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, please leave a review. That way other people can hear about it. Tell your friends. And also, if you have any questions about how to start a podcast, leave a comment. Go to our social. Just DM me, whatever you want to do. And I'll help you out however you can. I mean, hopefully you enjoyed this and it was informative and gave you some value. And then we're going to keep going from here and provide more value. That is the key to everything. Value. Wink, wink. What do I mean by that? You gotta listen to episode 2. That's the only way you'll find out. Peace!